Hi, everyone. If you didn't hear already, my name is Miriam. I work with Mark Thomas, and I'm also the Student and Younger Members Committee or co-chair to the Students and Younger Members Committee of WTS. And I'm really excited that you're all here tonight. I'm excited that you're here to join us, learn a bit more about the professional organizations supporting individuals in the transportation and planning field. And yeah, I'm just really excited. And I know what it was like not too long ago. I was okay. It feels like forever ago because it was 2020, but I graduated in 2020, and I totally feel you guys on just like what is all of this? What are all these different organizations? Who am I supposed to choose? So many options. So we brought the options here for you guys today so that you can check it out, see what you're vibing with. Maybe you're vibing with all of them. I don't know. So this will be your chance. And so yeah, we're also co-hosting this event with MTI. So Asha, if you want to speak a little bit about it before we begin.
Yes, so MTI is an organization on campus here at San Jose State University. And sorry, I just lost my official little script here. So MTI, I can't keep track, they keep growing, but we lead 3 multi-university competitively selected consortia. So there's the Mineta Consortium for Transportation Mobility, funded by the US DOT, the California State University Transportation Consortium, with funding from the Road Repair and Accountability Act of 2017. And then we also have the Climate Change and Extreme Events Training and Research Program we just started up, which is funded by the Federal Railroad Administration. MTI's mission broadly is to increase mobility for all by planning, by improving the safety, efficiency, accessibility, and convenience of our nation's transportation system. And we do that through sponsoring research, organizing tech transfer events to get research into the hands of practitioners, and also by supporting education and workforce development. And I'll just end by mentioning I'm the director of our graduate program in transportation management, which is an online program with live classes that you would join over Zoom, just like we're doing now. So if any of you, either in the short or longer term, might be looking for graduate education opportunities, please get in touch with me. And I'll hand it back to you, Miriam.
Thank you, Asha. I appreciate it. And then if we can move on to the slides with all the organizations. So just to give us like a little setup for our evening. So basically, we're going to have all the panelists kind of have a slide and introduce their organizations, just so you guys get a taste of all the different options we have tonight. Why do I feel like I'm at a restaurant trying to explain the menu? I'm not too sure. But anyways, that's what we're going to be doing tonight. And then at the end, we're going to have a small Q&A, just kind of a generic question, just to kind of get it going a little for all of the clubs. And then after that, we're going to move on into our breakout sessions, where if you were interested in one of the clubs, you can go in and ask some questions. And after you got your questions answered, if you want to move on to a different club, that's totally fine. But that's going to kind of be the breakdown for the evening. So I'm going to have Ida start it off for WTS, just to explain a little bit more about our organization.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Ida Bani Hashemi. I'm a principal project manager with Mott MacDonald. I am also a co-chair for the special events with WTS. I have been involved with the chapter since 2017. So I'm just going to give you an overview of the WTS San Francisco Bay Area. I mean, basically WTS, which is the Women in Transportation Seminars, but I'm kind of representing the San Francisco Bay Area chapter. WTS is a nonprofit organization. It is dedicated to advancement of women in transportation and shaping the future of transportation for the public good. WTS is generally focused on supporting students, members, and chapters, and actively collaborates with its transportation community. Those include corporations, public agencies, associations, and also learning institutions. And this event is one example. The chapter's activities include scholarship program that we have, networking events, professional development programs, skill building workshops, and various technical sessions and forums. Those are open to everyone in the transportation community. Obviously, some of the events are specifically for our agency and corporate partners, but generally the other events are all open to the public. In terms of just touching on the WTS scholarship, the WTS Foundation awards scholarships to students who are pursuing careers in transportation through undergraduate and graduate programs. We also have various other programs, including Transportation U, which is a hands-on interactive mentoring program that offers youngers ages 13 to 18 an introduction to a wide variety of transportation careers. We have mentorship program, which is basically pairing mentors and mentees for it's a one type kind of a 12 months length of a program, which is very helpful for people to just kind of learn how to grow their careers and the direction that they want to go. Women Leadership Series, which again is another program that will teach women how to kind of sharpen their leadership abilities. And as I mentioned, there are some programs and events committees and also that will support generally the chapter's activities. And we have included some general information on this slide. So please reach out. I mean, we're going to be having more discussion, but please feel free to reach out to any of people listed in here or check out our website for more information. Thank you.
Thank you, Aida. We appreciate you. Sorry, I didn't say this at the beginning, but we will be sharing all these slides. So don't worry about writing down everyone's information. You'll have the slides sent to you afterwards. And then next is going to be Danae with APA.
Hi, my name is Danae Hall. I am a project manager with Kimley Horn. I am in Oakland, and I also serve as the awards director for the northern section of American Planning Association. And I think we've got the wrong slide up for APA, so I'm not sure if we're in the wrong order or if I have gone too soon.
No, we're sorry about that. We're going to move the slide forward a bit.
Okay.
Then can we move it to APA? I'm so sorry.
So APA is the American Planning Association, and our mission is to create great communities for all. And we do that through leadership and education, research, advocacy, and ethical practice. Practically, what APA does is a lot of networking events. We host brown bag informative sessions, webinars to get AICP credits, workshops about law and ethics. We host panel discussions, put on conferences at the state, national level. We host happy hours locally and game nights and book clubs and diversity events. So it's a really great way to get connected with other professionals. And it's not just planning in the sense that you might think of as a city planner. It's transportation planning and environmental planning, which is what I do. Land use planning, economic development, all kinds of planning. And so it's a really great cross-section of individuals in the industry. If you are looking to get involved with APA, the easiest way is just to attend an event. A lot of them are free, particularly the happy hours. There's one coming up next week on November 9th. For those of you in the San Jose area, it will be at the San Pedro Square Market. So you can go to the APA NorCal website to get some more information on that. For students, joining APA is free. I think there's like a 1 or 2 year free membership when you're a student. And then there's a young professional pricing that gradually goes up and it's based on income. So take a look at the membership pricing. And, for me as an individual in the private sector, oftentimes companies will pay for your membership into the organizations. APA also offers student scholarships through the California Planning Foundation. So for those of you who are still in school or looking to enter into programs, take a look at the California Planning Foundation scholarship opportunities. And if you want more information about APA, chat with me later today, or feel free to reach out to any of the folks listed here on the slides. Pratna Maharaj is our Young and Emerging Planners Director, and our San Jose State University rep, Carolina, I believe she's actually here today. So thank you all for having me here today.
Thank you, Janae. We appreciate it. And then next is going to be Natalie from ACEC. And I think that was the slide before.
I think it was one of the first slides. Oh, there we are. So my name is Natalie Saylor. I'm a principal with Saylor Consulting Group, and I am the programs chair for ACEC. So I'm involved in planning a lot of the events that we have. So our mission is to provide professional engineers and surveyors. We're dedicated to building a better California. And one of the things that we like to do is also focus on the intersection between our political leaders and funding for transportation. So one of the fun events that we do every year, we have a legislative day where we actually go up and talk to our legislators about various bills that advance transportation funding in California and throughout the country. So generally we have lunch programs. There's a lot of technical education, information on all the projects that are going on in our chapter is the Bay Area chapter, the Bay Bridge chapter. Also information on, various legislation that's coming up that we need to vote for. We have networking, socials. We also like to plan events with other organizations. So just providing those contacts throughout the industry. And right now we are accepting applications for student scholarships. So that information is on the slide. We have a great link here. We'll provide that to you afterwards. Like a lot of these organizations, we understand students' budgets are limited. So all of our student memberships are free. And we are in the process of beginning emerging professionals and student sort of subsector of our chapter. So love to talk to anybody about that if they'd love to get involved. I find that's the best way to get to know the industry is actually be a volunteer. So look forward to speaking with you during our little one-on-one sessions.
Thank you. Next, we're going to have Maxwell from ASCE.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, so ASCE stands for the American Society of Civil Engineers. You can read our mission statement, but really what makes ASCE distinct, or I guess a little more vague, is that it encompasses all of civil engineering as a profession. And so there are a lot of different institutes within ASCE, and one of those is or covers transportation, of course. Some of the activities that we do for the San Francisco Younger Members Forum, which is a younger member group that's part of ASCE. It's for any member that's 35 years or younger. As a Younger Members Forum, we focus on technical talks, professional development, personal connections, and social networking with your peers. We also provide a lot of feedback to student groups within our area in the form of resume workshops or helping with student projects. And if you are a student, the American Society of Civil Engineers groups typically have a lot of student projects that they are encompassed within that club or that organization, and those compete at both a local and then eventually even a national level. So membership is free for students, like similar to a lot of other organizations. And if you're a young professional, the price is there as well. If you're interested in getting involved at all, my contact information is on the slide, or you can reach out to any of our officers going to the sfymf.org website. Thanks.
Thank you, Maxwell. And then next, we're going to have ACT, and that's going to be David and Melissa.
So thank you very much, and welcome again. Thank you again for having us. So basically, ACT is a good intersection of those folks that are both in equal parts transit, but also in business, policy, government. Quick story, transit found me as opposed to me finding transit. I went to school to become a city manager, and we pivoted to transit. And while working at a transit agency in Chicago, I was suddenly engrossed in ACT. And therefore, that started like a long-term 11-year relationship with the org. And, basically ACT does strive to create both an efficient multi-transportation network. So whether or not you're a engineer, a planner, program manager, project manager, product manager, it is so interdisciplinary. There's room for you, basically. But the mission, again, strives for this multi-transportation system by empowering the people, places, and orgs, working to advocate on behalf of transportation demand management, policies, and programs in order to improve the quality of life for commuters and enhance the livability of communities and economic activity. So over the course of the last 2 years, at least for the last 3 years, and I've been in part of the chapter for about 6 or 7 now. It's a combination of networking events. We plan on having one, hopefully, maybe in December. We do hold conferences once every quarter, including our international conference next year, which will be in Seattle. There's also a TDM forum that will be held in LA, to my knowledge. We do webinars, a lot of webinars, panel discussions, happy hours, educational and professional development opportunities, and then access to TDM trends and best practices. There are multiple ways to get involved, including volunteering, including going to events, conferences, joining councils and committees, being a part of the TDM Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee was basically my essence of the last couple of years. We started with the task force, and now we've created a full committee in which that we're working towards, making everything more inclusive, right? But also engaging with the local chapter. Our chapter covers from the Oregon border all the way down through Santa Maria. There's also our friends in the Southern California chapter that covers the second half, the bottom half, downstate, as well as Hawaii. In terms of memberships, it's $40 for full-time students. It's relatively inexpensive. I know it's not zero. We do have scholarships that can be available to those, as well as, opportunities for scholarships for covering for conferences, Leadership Academy, which is called Impact, and other forums to kind of get you going and to kind of bring others to the fold. On campus at UC Berkeley, my staff, I have 4 intern staff. They all have memberships because I want them to actually get a value to it. And past students have taken advantage of it as well because they sit through the webinars. They learn a thing or two because they're not all planners, but they also do appreciate what the value of ACT is. So we'll be around, but if you have any questions, just feel free to chat with us or email Melissa and I don't know if Melissa wants to add to anything, but it's been a pleasure to kind of explain what ACT does in 2 minutes or less.
I think you covered it all, Dave. If anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to any of us.
Awesome. Thank you, David and Melissa. Next, we're going to have Josh from AEP.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. My name is Josh Carman, the president of the SF Bay chapter of the Association of Environmental Professionals, or AEP. Also the director of noise, air quality, and greenhouse gas services at Rincon. So I tend to see transportation through the lens of kind of those indirect impacts from transportation. But quickly, our mission statement is just to enhance, maintain, protect the quality of natural and human environments. We have about over 2,000 members across California in 9 chapters, and largely made up of city planners, as well as consultants that are, I'd say, primarily working within CEQA, or the California Environmental Quality Act. So if you've ever heard of an AEIR or had to read one, it's largely what our members are doing is environmental review for proposed projects, anywhere from, say, mixed-use development or an industrial warehouse, a school, up to a city's general plan. We have social events, obviously happy hours, sometimes hikes around the area. We do have our annual conference coming up next year in Lake Tahoe. And then, at the state level, we'll do a workshop that goes around the state and does CEQA Essentials and CEQA Advanced workshops, CEQA case law updates, and a podcast and newsletter. Student memberships are free. And you can see here, there's an email here if you are potentially interested in applying for one. Carly, the email here, is the coordinator for the SF Bay chapter. But if you're in another area in the state, just reach out to her and she can put you in touch with the right person. There's our website. And yeah, if people have questions, I look forward to talking more in the breakout rooms, or you can always feel free to shoot me an email. Thanks.
Thank you, Josh. And then next, we're going to have Jason from ITE.
Thank you. Sorry, the delay. So thanks for having me. My name is Jason Nesdahl. I am a project manager at Mont McDonald, along with Ida, and I am representing ITE. I am the co-student liaison for the San Jose State chapter of ITE. And what ITE really strives to do is provide the professional transportation community with knowledge, practices, skills, and connections to serve our local communities and shape the future of transportation. Now, I emphasize connections. You'll get these slides. I'm not going to go over too much, but that's what we're doing here tonight, even though it's virtual. We're trying to connect with students, with each other, and our communities to be able to really be a part of a community. So I would highly encourage you to pick ITE, but any of these other groups are great as well. We have a similar membership free to full-time students, a step increase after you graduate. I have included on the slides the San Jose State president and the Berkeley president email address if you are interested. If you don't go to either one of those universities, there are other local student chapters almost starting at some of the colleges, but also I would encourage you to start your own chapter if you want to with ITE, and we can try to help you. But the concept of getting out there and being a part of a community is important, and I think I want to emphasize that. So I would challenge you to pick your top 3 groups here tonight and go tell a fellow student about or tell a separate student about each one of those organizations. I came to this a number of years ago, and there was new organizations I've never heard of, and I've been working for a number of years. So it's really great to get out there. So I encourage you, if you have more questions, come see me in the chat room later. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. And then next, we're going to have ITS.
Yeah, so my name is Daria. I work for the Metropolitan Transportation Commission, the MPO for the San Francisco Bay Area, in the 511 group, specifically focused on ITS. If you're not familiar, ITS is sort of a niche industry within transportation focused on intelligent transportation systems. And in the case of our professional organization, that actually stands for Intelligent Transportation Society of California. And this is Transportation Society. There's one for America. There's also a World Congress, and we have Bay Area, Orange County, and Los Angeles chapters as well. So for activities, we host a variety of events, both virtually and in person. Recently, we had an equity panel series, and since we're a fairly new organization, there's a lot of room for new members to influence events. For example, shortly after I joined, I helped host an event called Surveillance and the Smart City, focusing on how some transportation technology had, data privacy concerns. So we had just a forum for professionals in the industry to discuss outstanding topics in transportation technology. We also have an annual conference. Next year's conference is going to be in Anaheim, for which we do give free passes to students, and it bounces back and forth between Northern and Southern California. You can reach out to any volunteers. Here, our contacts are Nino and Hema, and they are both representing the Intelligent Transportation Society California Board, and I'm representing actually the Young Professionals chapter for the Bay Area. So you can reach out to them, or you can reach out to me directly if you're more interested in the YPG and you're in the Bay Area. And like a lot of the other organizations, ITS California is free for students, and we have a variety of scholarships. They have already been awarded for this year, but you can look out for our website and LinkedIn, which I just sent in the chat, for the latest information for next year's scholarships. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Daria. And then last, but definitely not least, is Alba from Latinos in Transit.
Hi. You always wait for the best for to last, right?
Yes.
I feel like we're on a version of speed dating organizations. Thanks for having me. I'm class of 2008. I'm a very proud alumni of the Mineta Transportation Institute. So it's always a pleasure to come and share about Latinos in Transit. Before I talk about Latinos in Transit, I work for WSP. I'm the Vice President of Transit and Rail West Region Market Lead. It's a lot to remember. But before I came to WSP, I was involved with an organization. We're also pretty new. We formed in 2016, and the mission of Latinos in Transit is to promote the advancement and development of Latinos and minorities into the transportation space. Our members are made up of public and private transportation industry professionals. We have, and we're also a nonprofit. Our board is 50-50 split between private sector employees and public sector. Some of the activities that we provide are every month we have a Café con Lit, which is a virtual meeting for our members. I'm actually coming to you from one of our coffee shops. It is a space for our members to meet once a month. That got started the month after the pandemic shut down. We needed a way to communicate and keep people's spirits high. And we've been doing it now for 2 years, over 2 years. And every month we have different topics and surprise guest speakers. And so we have a lot of fun with Café con Lit. And everyone is, you don't have to be a member to join us. It's free, and I would encourage all of you on this call to join us. We have networking events throughout the year. Also, many of the things that the other organizations talked about to really give our members the opportunity to network and meet other people in the industry. We think it's vitally important to have those connections, especially if you want to move up in the industry, or if you're new. Excuse me. My phone hasn't rang all day today until now. We have, in 2022, we launched a Lit Leadership Academy where we held workshops over a course of 5 months for our Academy students to learn more about transportation. The industry. Sometimes we have some of our members may be working in a discipline where they don't really get to understand the work and how it affects what their work affects the community. So we share and we bring transportation leaders from around the country to talk and orient and help our students know more about transportation in general. Everything from how funding works, to leadership skills, to how grants are needed to fund projects, and all this really good fun stuff. We also have this year launched a scholarship program, which I'm really proud to say that 2 MTI students were selected this year to receive a scholarship from Latinos in Transit. So again, very proud of MTI. Thank you, Asha, and the whole team for getting the word out. We will continue to offer scholarships through our own scholarship program and also through the American Public Transportation Foundation. We've been providing scholarships through APTF for 3 years now, or 4? 3. Our last winner was Ricardo Vega, who is an employee at ACEC Transit. Again, very proud, and especially when they're locals and we know them. Membership is only $50 for students or recent graduates, and it's $100 for individuals. Of course, we also have organization membership dues. We have, from the Bay Area, we have ACEC Transit is a member, and there's a lot of organizations, transportation organizations, as well as private firms that are members, and those memberships come with complimentary memberships. If you have any questions about Latinos in Transit, please feel free to reach out to me. I've included our website and my email and a QR code if you would like to join. Thank you.
Thank you, Alba. Okay, and so now we're going to be transitioning. This is going to be the portion before the breakout sessions. We're just going to have a little Q&A for all the panelists. So if anyone has like any in general questions, feel free to send it into the chat, or just kind of, or just say it if you want to say it right now. And then if not, I have a question that we can kind of kick it off with. But yeah. And so if anyone has anything, feel free to, speak your truth now. If not, I'm gonna get to it. Okay. So then question number 1, and by the way, I know there's a lot of panelists, so we don't have to go through everyone. Just like if you feel like you want to speak about it, then go for it. But how can students or others who are just starting out in the profession, who want to start participating more in organizations, what's like the best way to kind of go about that for those who are just kind of beginning their journey?
I'll speak up. I think the absolute best way to get involved is, attend a couple of meetings and then see if you can volunteer. You always get more out of an organization if you volunteer. It gives you a sense of purpose, and you develop deeper relationships with people in the organization. So I would look for an organization that does have a young members forum, and try to help planning events or something like that. I did that when I was first starting out, and it just helped me create so many relationships, and it really builds your brand. It helps your career. It helps the firm that you're working with. I just can't say enough about it.
So I think, dragging back to my origin story, for lack of a better word, transit found me. I didn't find transit and for somebody was, I guess, for lack of a better word, very introverted, it was very tough for me to actually find my place. And, there are days in which I still feel that. And I've been in the industry for, parking transit 15 years. It helped to have a mentor, and she was a member of ACT. She passed away last year. But that was my boss, but she also told me about ACT, and, taking advantage of the opportunities, sitting in, granted, our chapter in the Midwest encapsulates, I think, 8 states. So it's a little bit different, but the way that I've, envisioned having to kind of pull, the life stories that my staff goes through, and I'm very, very close with them in making sure that they're ready for the real world. And I'm sure that they have real questions about, how do we make transit better for all? How do we create this better future for everyone? And kind of making sure that we can have, the space for that. One of the ideas coming from the DEI committee out of ACT, and this is something that my group and I had figured out, is how can we make sure that we have representation, but also, reaching towards that equitable future, not only for those that have been in the profession, 5, 10, 15 years, but what if you're a rookie? What if you're just starting out or even pivoting? How can we be able to help you out with that? And I think that was kind of the direction that we wanted to take, at least with ACT, ensuring that, we have generations of both the technical knowledge, but also the holistic approach to making transit and TDM and mobility better. And, regardless of what your strengths are. And I think that, all of us are, hopefully, and I presume, yes, are focused on kind of creating that bench for future leaders, because at some point, the reins will need to be held on to those that have both the experience, but also the good-natured folks of mentors.
And then, Maxwell, I see you have your hand up if you wanted to go next.
Oh, yeah. I just wanted to add to like everything that's been said, which is all really good. I think there's 3 points I wanted to add. And one is that I think there's never needs to be a right time to join. I know a lot of times, like when I was a student, even it was a little daunting to try and join halfway through the year, right? We're already kind of started off, and you might think, oh, these organizations already started, or they've already had their board for the year. If you're a student, you might think you missed the boat. You got to wait till next year. And I don't think that's the case. I think everyone's always really excited to get new membership. So you add value just by showing up. The second part is that you don't need to feel like you need to dive in right away. You can always just show up to a meeting, like was said earlier, or show up to a social. Maybe they're going out for ice cream, like events like that are planned as a student, and you could just go to try and meet friends. And the third part is that when you join an organization, I don't think you need to feel like you're attached to it for the rest of your life. I joined ASCE as a student because that really, that vibed with me, and I got to know everyone really well, and it did a lot of good things for my connections and starting off in the workplace. Now I'm involved with a more niche organization that aligns more closely with what I do as a profession, and transitioning then was seamless and quite easy. So those are 3 things I would add.
Thank you, Maxwell.
Yeah, I would just, one thing to add on to Maxwell's is just the concept of just showing up, being present, and you don't have to, do anything necessarily right away, but take that step to show up and get involved. And if you want to become an officer, or just go to a lunch and learn or ice cream or whatever it is, but just get exposed to the different, there's, what do we have, a dozen here or so that are all very unique and different, that represent kind of different components of it. Just take that first step of getting involved, and I think it'll pay off for you very well. And to piggyback on what Natalie said, I think that it's stuff they don't teach you in college, and that it is really, really important. A lot of the professors, they're academics, and and I'm mostly talking in the undergrad programs, but they are focused on the academics, and that's important. But once you get out there, and don't wait till you get out there, but start now, getting out there and experiencing these different groups and these different kind of people. So thanks.
Thank you, Jason. There's a couple of questions in the chat. So William Walker asks, can there be one conference per year with all the groups here that move us toward a common equitable transportation future? If anyone wants to speak on that.
Very quickly, from an ACT perspective, we are going through our 2023 work plan that we'll discuss with our respective chapters. Being the outgoing president for the NorCal chapter, I think we're committed. So, just let us know when.
Perfect, thank you. And then there's another question. For the organizations directed towards engineers, should student members be engineering students only? Or if not, how would a planning student fit in within your organization?
I'll jump in where it's not really, I guess, for an example like planning per se. But when I was in the student organization, we had people who were not even engineering or in the transportation space involved with our society, which is the American Society of Civil Engineers, of which transportation is only a part of that. And we did have an ITE chapter at our school as well. But when you're in these organizations, you're not doing engineering work. You're not actually designing documents or building bridges or working with this necessarily, although that is part of the content which will be provided and is a big part of it. So I think you can still show up if you're interested in that space and contribute to the organization and volunteer, but in my experience.
Sorry, I would like to add, we are called Institute of Transportation Engineers, but there are a lot of planners in the group, and we do a lot of planning work. In that transportation is a huge, broad topic that I would encourage planners. I mean, data scientists, now we're hiring math, kind of majors, business majors, everything in between relates to, I deal with lawyers on a regular basis and lots of, different kind of backgrounds and disciplines, if you will. So don't get fixated on the titles or what you think they might be, but check them out and see.
So a big part of this coming together is that WTS and sorry, my nerves are getting to me. MTI came together, and Asha was a big part of it, and also Minvi and Alvarina and Itzel. Minvi and Alvarina from MTI and Itzel is from WTS. Just want to give a quick shout out to them and say thank you so much for all their help and just putting this all together. And then yes, and then also, as I mentioned, Minvi and Alvarina, they are going to be staying in the main room before the breakout, during the breakout session. So if any of you guys have any questions or anything, or any technical issues, please come back to the main room. Also, we have some upcoming activities with WTS and MTI. November 4th, we're going to have an info session about an online program offered by San Jose State and MTI, graduate studies in transportation management. So actually, Asha, did you want to go over this? I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to take over.
That's okay. Yes. And again, we'll be sending out the slides. So to anyone who registered, but MTI also has a series of webinars. One of those is coming up on December 6th, looking at freight emissions. And WTS, of course, also has many events. And I don't know if either Miriam or Itzel, you want to quickly mention those.
So yes, WTS has, there are the two next events that we have this year are the Transportation Executive Forum, which is basically a forum-based event that is geared towards discussing key issues and cutting-edge topics in transportation industry. We will have, and this year we will have a panel of 6 from the public agencies, and then the audience will be a mix of private sector and public sector professionals. We will have our holiday party and member appreciation event on December 13th. And also WTS has 6 scholarships for graduating high school seniors, undergraduates, and graduate students, and applications are going to be live soon. Thank you.
Sorry, can I add something to WTS? This is to tell everyone, hi. WTS has also extended their mentorship application. It was originally due last Friday. That's why I didn't add it here, but then they extended it, I believe the 11th. So if you guys are interested, definitely check out the website and apply to that.